being extra with me now. And you know I'm in with me now. And it wouldn't be the same, no. Why you suddenly disturbing me? I don't know you nothing. And the last time you spoke to me, you said I don't deserve you, no, no, no. Cloud chaser, now you wanna call me, nice try. Price just went up overnight, and now I see you from the corner of my eye. Cloud chaser, chaser, now you wanna call me, nice try. Price just went up overnight, and now I see you from the corner of my eye. You think you hold the key, but I never let you know. Don't know what you think this is. Yeah, yeah. I can't give you what you need. No, 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 no. So please step aside and think of all the things you put on me. I think you did this to yourself. Yeah. Go think of all the things you could be doing. Yeah. I think you should go focus on yourself. Yeah. Cloud chaser, chaser, chaser. Now you wanna call me, nice try, nice try. Price just went up overnight, and now I see you from the corner of my eye. Chaser, now you wanna call me, nice try, nice try. Price just went up overnight, and now I see you from the corner of my eye. My eye.
Hello, my beautiful people. It is your girl Mo. This is the After Dark show, of course. This is Radio 254 if you guys are tuned in, locked in. This is such an amazing day because we are here again. We're happy and healthy at Radio 254. I hope everybody's had a great week ahead, and I hope everyone is excited for the new coming season ahead. And for my woo-woo astrological hippie people out here, we are entering actually Gemini season. And I can't wait for my guest to get here so that she can explain more about Gemini season, because I've been doing my own little reading, but I have questions about that. But we're going to dive in that a bit later. Guys, I just want to take us through the segments real fast. I've been doing great. I'm blessed. I've changed my hair. I got new hair. Who dis? And I also, I'm just feeling good. I'm feeling great, honestly. Guys, I would love to take you down through my segments this evening and, put you maybe a little bit on game. So this week has been an interesting week, to say nonetheless. Like, honestly, it's been an interesting roller coaster of a week myself, but I'm grateful to God where I've gotten from and like where I'm heading. But I want to first of all say, like, shout out to apps that are actually doing something like really interesting that help you to gain either more access to information or knowledge or, people as well. I want to say a big shout out to a quick business shout out actually to, because I know that this is a business, to Simple Radio app. Now, guys, if you have been trying to listen to Radio 254 or to listen to any of your friends who are actually hosting shows on Radio 254 or people who have podcasts here, or you just want to know more what's going on with our station at the moment, I feel like the best app that you can download so that you continue hearing Radio 254 constantly. And if you maybe those type of people who can't be always clicking on that link on that Instagram, or you kind of just like somebody ends up sharing a link to the show, maybe that was already recorded, worry not. Like this is going to be easy and painless and just efficient. You're just going to use a bit of bundles if you're out somewhere without Wi-Fi. But just download the app Simple Radio app. And it's going to be like a blue icon that has like a picture of a radio. Let me just be certain because it's somewhere on my phone here. Yes. So it has like a blue background and then like an image like in white with a radio and a smiley face. So if you have that app specifically, you can definitely listen to any radio station in the world online, and it has it, or it has its own frequency. You guys can listen to radio stations and just be more informed about also what's going on, because I feel like also when you watch news at times, like they won't cover everything and you won't hear exactly what's really going down on the ground wherever somebody is. So it's always interesting when you can tune into a radio station either in Kenya, in South Africa, in the UK, in Portugal, so you can actually like be mindful and aware of also what's happening there, and that's going to also take you to another place of, okay, well, the news cycle doesn't kind of bring that onto us for us, but we gonna listen to the radio from here. So that's just a quick business shout out that I wanted to mention. So if you guys want to download a new app this coming week, I would recommend the Simple Radio app because I feel like it's helped me. Also, I also you can put favorites, and that's the best part. You can indicate your favorites, and my favorite obviously is Radio 254, and a couple of radio stations in Nairobi and in Rwanda and in South Africa. So and some in the UK. So you guys better check this app out. At least try get the free trial. Everybody loves a good free trial. So enjoy the free trial and then gauge from them. But in other news, now I know that I've told you to download that app, but I also want you guys to be put on because my guest that's actually coming in today, she's an astrologer, and I can't wait for her to actually like drop some gems over here. But I wanted to just bring out for my Mo Entertainment portion of the evening is that she has a podcast, and the podcast is called Wandiology Podcast, where we learn and demystify astrology as a tool to gaining a deeper understanding of our energetic signatures and our interactions with the world. So, the episode that I've basically gotten a lot of nuggets of wisdom from was her recent episode that she released about the houses. And if anybody knows about, and I know that not everybody is sipping on this kind of Kool-Aid, everybody has their own kind of Kool-Aid, and that's fine. We're just here for the people who want to have a part of this Kool-Aid. We want to sip on this Kool-Aid. So if you're into astrology and your star sign and your zodiac sign and your date of birth, and you want to find like deeper meaning based on that, she does a beautiful breakdown, and her voice is so calming and so soothing, honestly, that you're hypnotized. You're hypnotized. You don't even want to pause the podcast itself. You don't. Kwanzaa, it's on YouTube, so that's amazing and that's the best. You don't even feel the urge to pause that episode. You don't even feel the urge to even switch to another channel. Her voice is so calming and it's so inviting, and she simplifies everything that is regarding astrology in a more palatable way for you to, and the examples are pretty spot on, guys. I kid you not. And the previous episodes that she had was about the houses. So if you know like basically your astrology sign, and you know where your sun is rising and when your moon is and what house you're in, when it's whatever season you're in, like she does a beautiful breakdown, honestly, and I can't wait for it to be here. I can't wait for the entire time where she has all of those amazing pieces of information for us so that she can shed light, especially like if you know that you are having different changes and shifts into your life at the moment. I can't wait for her to figure that out for people who might want to actually like send us an email or send us a text, or send me a text or a WhatsApp if you know me, or you can also hit us on Instagram as well on Radio 254. Like if you're curious, like I would love to find out if you guys are down to get some of your questions answered. But in regards to the rest of the show, I'm going to wait for her to come on here so that we can finally meet her and pick her brain and find out exactly what kind of Kool-Aid she's been sipping on and how long she's been sipping on that Kool-Aid. Guys, I would love for me and y'all to enjoy some music ahead here, because I'm gonna find my guest. She came a little bit late. I'm gonna be honest. She came here a little bit late. She was lost, but she managed her way getting here, and I'm so glad. I'm gonna leave you guys with some amazing music in the process of me finding my girl. And I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna return right back with y'all, and we're gonna have an amazing show. I can't wait. And let us just dive into some beautiful tunes over here. And your girl Mo is gonna be right back. And stay tuned, guys.
Navutishwa, oh navutishwa, moshi pia napuliziwa. Navutishwa, oh navutishwa, naishi kama paka nalishwa. Navutishwa, oh navutishwa, haya mapenzi sijalipishwa. Navutishwa, oh navutishwa mama. Navutishwa, oh navutishwa mama. Sosi delivery, pombe kemikali, mapenzi halali, mapenzi legend. Nilikuanga silali, hapo awali, Kanairo hakuna amani. Hakuchi on fire, can't deny. Miguu zake unzunguka kama taya. Aki bend over, ni game over. Mwanga na sosi mpaka naitisha sosa. Na kulishwa matamu ya roho, naogeshwa ngoda mbichi na valishwa kidogo tu ninyonyeshwe, dredi zangu zisokotwe, shingo ni masajiwe, nasanifiwa, naroliwa, kisha navutishwa. Navutishwa, navutishwa, moshi pia napuliziwa. Navutishwa, oh navutishwa, naishi kama paka nalishwa. Navutishwa, oh navutishwa, haya mapenzi sijalipishwa. Navutishwa, oh navutishwa mama. Navutishwa, oh navutishwa mama. Kuamka kung'ara na kukaa tu, kula mahaba ya kistaarabu, na tabasamu bila sababu, kitandani nafunzwa adabu, kukaa kukaliwa, kulala kulaliana na kulaliwa, maisha ya ghorofa, nikitoka kitandani naruka kwa sofa, wifi imelipiwa nadekezwa upara na papaswa nabembelezwa natulizwa uso nakaliwa nasanifiwa, naroliwa, kisha navutishwa mama. Navutishwa, oh navutishwa, moshi pia napuliziwa. Navutishwa, oh navutishwa, haya mapenzi sijalipishwa. Navutishwa, oh navutishwa mama. Navutishwa, oh navutishwa mama.
yeah, that shit be dope. Blocking 37, I was so that nigga dope as hell, hey. Yeah, we dope as hell. Nikibongo wanaleta violence, mimi sijali yo shit ni past tense. Nikimedi ndo mini na rhyme best up inakuja ni kami ni conscience. If you hear me to me you are nonsense.
Nikamazi yuko ready. Nani alinidanganya eti mapenzi huwa simple? Ni nani alinidanganya penzi hainanga kilio? Nikadanganywa eti maua ndiyo suluhisho. Na niongeza chokoleti bas, hizi vitu hufanyangwa hivo. But then I fell in love, mambo ikakuwa complicated. Hinesabu, yes we're in love. Nimeingia mtihani bila kalamu, yeah. I'm not ready, pressure mingi mina daddy. Oh, I'm going crazy, yeah. Juu sasa ninavalishwa kitenge, tukifanana penzi ni ya milele. Nyoa rasta mzazi ya kupende, hizi vitu kwangu ni crazy. Jusielewi vile kitenge itafanya penzi iwe milele. Na mbona rasta mzazi asipende, hizi vitu kwangu ni crazy. Oh, ni kama si yuko ready. Square one, 1+1 wacha ibaki 1. Msinifunze mimi nimeshalan, napambana na hali yangu kama Saddam. Basi tusiwa mind, tusiwape sikio. Little baby will be fine, tusiwaonyeshe kilio. For those who fall in love, mambo isikuwe complicated kama hesabu. When you're in love, usijipate mtihani bila kalamu, yeah. If you're not ready, pressure mingi usidedi. Please don't go crazy. Juu sasa ninavalishwa kitenge, tukifanana penzi ni ya milele. Nyoa rasta mzazi ya kupende, hizi vitu kwangu ni crazy. Tusielewi vile kitenge itafanya penzi iwe milele. Na mbona rasta mzazi asipende, hizi vitu kwangu ni crazy. Ni kama si yuko ready, ni kama si yuko ready. Nani alinidanganya eti mapenzi huwa simple? Ni nani alinidanganya penzi hainanga kilio?
Just like the sun, light up the earth, you light up my life. The only one I've ever seen with a smile so bright. And just yesterday, you came around my way and changed my whole scenery with your astonishing beauty.
You're gonna make everyone sing. No ordinary thing, you supernatural being. I know you brighter than the moon, brighter than the stars. I love you just the way you are.
And you are
Umetuma wazazi wako waje wanieleze, umetuma wazazi wako waje wanieleze, unitaki tena, na mashoga zako waje waniambie, na mashoga zako waje waniambie, ndoa tumeivunja. Siamini kuna time singeishi bila wewe, mapenzi ya kukata na shoka yashamwagika yazoleki yao, basi nenda lote mama, nenda lote mama. Penzi unaenda, nilikuenzi kinoma noma, yashamwagika yazoleki yao, nenda lote mama. Ukatuma loya wako ate anisome, ukatuma loya wako ate anisome, kuwa watoto ulonizalia kuwa watoto ulonizalia sitawaona tena. Siamini kuna time tuliapa hadharani, kanisani kwa chanda na pete jasha mwagika yazoleki yao, nenda lote mama, nenda lote mama. Penzi unaenda, nilikuenzi kinoma noma, yashamwagika yazoleki yao, nenda lote mama. Ukatuma pasta wako aje anikeme, ukatuma pasta wako aje anikeme mama, na madeni zangu kazitangaza na madeni zangu kazitangaza mitandao shemeji zangu ndugu zako tukionana, wambie sisi bado rafiki wasinipite barabarani mama umeenda lote mama, umeenda lote mama. Penzi unaenda, penzi kinoma noma, yashamwagika yazoleki yao, basi nenda lote mama, nenda lote mama. Penzi unaenda, penzi kinoma noma, yashamwagika yazoleki yao, nenda lote mama, 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 nenda lote mama.
Hello, my beautiful people. Once again, this is your girl Mo. This is the After Dark show, and you are tuned into Radio 254 right now. I am blessed and happy to be sitting with the one and only. I mean, let me even break it down, because from the moment she entered, first of all, she smells hella good. And then she came correct with her outfit. Also considering the fact that she wore like a beautiful light blue kind of color that's like perfect for the season we're entering, which is the Gemini season. And I would love for her to shed more light on that. And she's just so breathtaking. Her beautiful lashes, her beautiful face, her braids, they came correct. And a lot of people were asking me like, is she going to come through with the braid and the horns kind of vibe from the poster? I I said, I don't know. And I was waiting. I was like, whatever she gonna give it to us, I know it's gonna be good. But she's an astrologer. She's a lover of Beyonce. She is also working as a 9 to 5er, like most of us out here too, but still balancing and also being true to herself. And she is an amazing creative like makeup artist. Like it's giving, honestly, like you could work for Doja Cat. You could have done Doja Cat's makeup on the Met Gala. I don't know if you work with prosthetics, but I feel like if you were to go on tour with like Doja Cat or SZA or one of these really like, you know, like girls that are in that kind of world, technically, like I don't want to put them all in a box, but like girls who are like that on stage and also some guys, why not? I feel like you would totally kill it when it comes to like doing some celebrity or even like movie based work of like makeup. And you know, hey, why don't we just throw it out there? Why doesn't she just become the first Kenyan person with an Emmy for makeup? Like why don't we just put it out there like that, guys? I just love making sure people know that they are talented and blessed with their skills, honestly, because me, I was taken away by her page. That's why I had to reach out. That's why I was like, okay, now people got to know more about her. People got to know about her. and I'm so glad that she's here. Wandia,
Yes.
it is a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
I can't believe that you're finally here.
Thank you, of course.
Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry you got lost along the way. I told my listeners, like, she's a little bit lost, but she's on the way. The roads are a bit tricky, and it's nighttime, so she gonna be here. I'm so glad. Thank you so much for coming through.
Oh, thank you for having me. I just saw your DM and I was like, look, I have to come. I have to come. And thank you so much for having me.
Of course.
Thank you so much for rating my art and me as a person as well.
Yeah.
And I'm just looking forward to the conversation we're going to have.
I'm so excited, honestly. I think the one, first of all, welcome to the studio. And I hope you love it because it's full with color and brightness over here. And I wanted to also find out, how was your week? I don't want to just jump into questions and interview you immediately. How has your week been?
My week has been hectic. As you said, I have a 9 to 5. So I do that from Monday to Friday. And I also had to shoot the podcast.
Oh, yes.
As you know, my astrology podcast for the Gemini season, since the sun entered Gemini today. I also had to shoot the look for the Gemini look. I can't wait for you guys to see it.
I'm going to be gagging. I'll be like, this is what we needed.
Yeah.
She's serving.
It's nice. So it's been like just thing on thing on thing on thing, and I'm exhausted.
You're a woman in demand. You're busy, eh?
I'm busy.
But,
I'm busy.
But you look like you got it together, girl. The skin be glowing.
Thank you.
All right.
I try.
Yeah.
I try to be up to date with my things, my skincare. Anything I have to do, I'm just on it.
Good. We see it, eh? And we, most importantly, we feel it through the energy. So let us get into it. First of all, I think when we were off air, we were deciding like we should make a challenge to figure out what star signs we are.
Yes.
Because you guessed when you walked in, you thought that I was a Virgo. And when you walked in, I guessed that you were a Libra.
Yeah.
And we were both wrong. But the whole show, I think we're just going to throw out different zodiac signs and then just figure out like who's who.
Okay.
Yeah. But based on the conversation, because maybe I might give some clues away. Maybe you might also give some little telltales over here. But I'm excited. I can't wait to figure you out.
Okay. Me too. I love like psychoanalyzing. I don't want to say people, but
but it's there, right?
Yeah.
And even like, not to mention, even when we watch these shows like Love is Blind and even figuring out how compatible one person is, like even when you go on a date, sometimes you're asking yourself, well, okay, what are you into? What is this person all about? And sometimes the astrological signs do kind of guide you.
Absolutely.
I kid you not. I told you off air. I'm telling God, like, honestly, I know that the astrology world is not everybody's kind of Kool-Aid, and people believe what they want to believe and they're into it. It's kind of giving woo-woo at times.
Yes.
But I feel like when you do take the time to actually learn it and understand it a bit, it kind of has some true points to it, especially if you've also gotten deep into like your life path number and things like that.
Yes.
So I feel like I'm getting closer to God. I'm maintaining a very intimate and strong relationship with God lately. And it's a beautiful one. I'm loving the journey that I'm on, but I'm also somebody who's like, I want to know what's happening if there's a retrograde. I want to know if there's something happening with the moon.
Yes.
Like, I'm that type of person. And honestly, my prayers be like, Lord, don't give me another Leo man again. Don't you give me that fire man again. So there's moments where you're just trying to figure out like with this world, and I wanted to find out from you, like, when did you realize you wanted to be identified and as an astrologer as well as a creative makeup artist? Like, when was that moment you said like, I'm gonna do all my research, I'm gonna be this person and also have a podcast about it and be open about it, Kwanzaa in Kenya?
Exactly.
When did that start?
Okay, I think for the astrology that started last year, like I was always into astrology, right? And not in just like the woo-woo way, in the I really study. Like I study astrology every single day. I
Awesome.
have books and books. So it's not just coming from, oh, this is what I'm assuming about you. No, like it's, people have read the stars for years and years before us. So
Yeah.
it's kind of my way of honoring my ancestry or even just other intellectual people who've come before me. And I just love things to do with patterns. And so for me, astrology was a hobby and kind of like it was very personal to me until someone at the Wonder House where I teach was like, okay, why don't you just try teaching? Because you're just always talking about astrology
Yeah.
and you're always teaching people regardless. So why don't you try and host a class? And so for me, that was like, oh, okay. And I felt very excited. And I was like, okay, let me do this. Let me try. And when I tried, the response was amazing. Like it was, okay, questions and questions. And the feedback I got was that I was breaking it down in a simpler way for people to digest, right?
Totally.
It's a lot of jargon, it's a lot of houses and people really don't get, okay, what does this mean?
Yeah.
And so for me it was like to teach something in a palatable way like that was exciting, right? And so that just got me going and going, and it's something that I never get bored doing.
Yeah.
I assume like just you and hosting, and I just fell in love with it. And so the years of me studying just as a hobby have come through in a way that I can even now monetize it, even
Yeah.
if my heart really doesn't want to, because again, capitalism, and I really don't want to make it a niche like elitist thing. Like
Yeah.
I want to help when I can help.
Yeah.
So even when you go on my Twitter, I'm always talking about astrology. I'm always trying to like just make it digestible and as easy to find as I can.
Yeah.
With makeup, that was a very like spiritual awakening kind of thing. Yeah, it was very I think it was 2019 and I had surgery scheduled, right? So I deal with fibroids and sorry if this is a bit too triggering, but I do deal with fibroids and I had surgery scheduled like late 2019.
Okay.
And so I just remember waking up from surgery and thinking, oh my God, like just really processing, okay, what have I done with my life till now? That's very like, that I can be like, okay, this is who Wandia is.
Yeah.
And I remember just feeling like an emptiness and like kind of like a bitterness because my situation growing up wasn't like as easy as maybe other people's, right?
Yeah.
For me, it wasn't easy. There was abuse involved and things like that. And so for me, I was really looking for meaning and I was really lost for a long time, clinging on to kind of like things that didn't matter. So when I woke up from surgery, my family was there. They supported me, my mom. And so I remember just going back home and being stuck in bed and wondering, okay, what can I do? And so I just remember telling my mom, okay, mom, I'd like makeup. I'd just buy me makeup. And I
Yeah.
don't even remember where it came from, but I do remember liking makeup from a very young age. And like watching my Libra auntie apply her lipstick and being like, oh, I'm gonna be you one day.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just remember my mom being like, okay, order what you want. And I
Yeah.
remember there was a sale going on at BH Cosmetics. And so she gave me 10,000. And 10,000 for makeup then was like, okay,
That's a
wow,
that's a lot.
thank you.
Yeah.
And so I just like ordered a box and I was like, okay, this is what I'm gonna start with. And I kid you not, it was so bad. Like the black brows, the very like scary eyeshadow, like very clownish things.
Uh-huh.
And that's how I started small on YouTube. I started teaching myself. And then one day I could draw a cloud on my eye and I was like, okay, like the shape, it's taking form. And just something in me was it was a very natural thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, makeup was very natural for me. And so just I immersed myself into it. I also remember I'd taken a year off from school because of the same situation.
Mm-hmm.
And I just remember just painting and like pushing myself more. And it just became a thing. And now it's just this thing that I'm known for. And I'm like, wow, but it's a great thing because it's how I was able to be creative and it's how I was able to heal my trauma, right? And I feel like it's just how I was able to fix my self esteem. And so
Yeah.
now, even when you talk about my energy when I walk into the room, it's just as simple as I was able to be creative, I was able to create meaning for myself.
Absolutely. And let me piggyback off of the word healing because as you were talking, I was really paying attention, and you said that it was a spiritual awakening that you had. And even when I just think about it, I didn't even need to check my Instagram right now. Even just checking the photos that you've posted, it was giving very whimsical, it was giving creativity, it was giving magical, mystical over there. And it was also seeming like it was healing because even if you decide to unwind from the life like you or the ordeal that you were going through and having to come overcome the surgery and also now figure out exactly how do we move on from here, and you've taken a year off of school from that. So I feel like you were basically using your face as canvas, and you were saying, I'm going to be healing from this, and I'm going to be able to draw, and I'm going to be able to feel like I can find joy or like tap into the part of me that I know that's going to definitely shine and make me feel like I'm whole again or I'm complete again after the whole experience. And I think that's such an amazing takeaway from your work.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thank
Look
you.
at you. I'm just really impressed by you and your work completely. And I wanted to also mention with your work, like, do you ever use like facial prosthetics when you're working on the makeup itself?
Yes, sometimes I do use prosthetics for myself, especially I haven't gotten to the point where it's like publicized, but I do experiment with a lot of material. My favorite thing right now is just picking up what I can see and trying to put that on my face and saying, okay, how does this work? How does this camera work? Like, what can we do with all the materials we have here? So yes, I do use like wax and prosthetics and glue and stuff like that. Yes, so yeah.
That's amazing, honestly. And I feel like when you say that, have you ever like, entertained the idea of implementing all your work into maybe film and movies and TV and being in that world, or even being on stage, on tour, on concerts, on award shows, on Met Galas, like I mentioned earlier? Have you ever entertained that idea?
I do. And for me, the hardest thing for me with my makeup is it's very personal to me. So turning it into like a venture has been very difficult for me because of how I personally feel like that strips away from my creativity. And in that, if you hand me a workbook of what I'm supposed to do, right? Or like a guide of what I'm supposed to do, maybe for a movie, I feel like that's a bit limiting for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really the kind of person who needs to have integrity in my creativity. And it reached a point after I did like makeup work for money, I was like, okay, no.
Mm-hmm.
Because then I started to fall out of love with makeup. It started to become a source of stress for me. And I was like, no, I need to protect this, because if I don't, then it's, I don't know, I just felt like it wasn't making me happy anymore. And I feel like when I'm creating with no bounds, with no like, there's no reward, it's just for my gratification. I feel like that's when I create the best things. But I kid you not, when you tell me to like sit down and do glam on someone, I'm like, okay, I'm bored. Like I don't want to do this. I don't want to even do glam on myself.
Yeah.
Right. And so for me, monetizing my work is a bit tricky. And that's why I have a 9 to 5 essentially, because I want to be able to make enough money to fund my passion. But I also want makeup to remain my passion. Right.
I hear you.
Yeah.
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 Well, I'm just at awe, honestly, because you also don't want to have that peace taken away from you. You don't want to lose that
Yes.
feeling at all.
I don't.
Wow,
I
wow, wow. So would you consider yourself like a professional astrologer where you would give like professional readings, tarot cards? Are you into crystals? Are you into like chakra, like readings? And also like I've heard something called, because I follow my favorite healer. Her name is Mariam Hasnea.
Yeah.
You know Mariam?
Yeah. I
Oh
love
my
Mariam.
goodness, I love her.
Yeah.
She mentions that sometimes like when you're overwhelmed with a lot of people's energies, like if you are either like constantly around people, whether you're a politician, a teacher, a lecturer, or just in an office space, sometimes you're consuming different kind of energies, and it will play into a role of you kind of like getting a bit out of whack with yourself. So she mentioned there was this thing called I don't know if I'm going to say it correctly, but it's called a cranium sacrum. And basically, like, it's gonna, from her description, what I got is that it's gonna give you a complete detox of like that energy and like finding balance, striking balance within yourself again. So tell me more about that world and whether you have gotten one and where I can get one next and where you would recommend, because there's some hippy dippy places in Nairobi that you're kind of like questionable, but I'm curious and I don't know. What would you recommend?
Yeah. First of all, I want to say that spirituality is not the easy way out. It's not like a band-aid. Like, I feel like I get these questions a lot where it's like, okay, what does tarot do? Like, I need people to move from, okay, do some research.
Yeah.
Yeah. See what works for you. Ask questions, watch YouTube videos, like the resources now, so you can find out. So I do astrology. That's actually my passion. I love studying astrology. So I do that professionally. I'm currently in school to get certified for it.
Awesome.
So, yeah. But I also do tarot, but I will suggest all these things as a supplement to the work you're already doing within yourself. Because I kid you not, all this work is worthless if you're not introspecting. Right?
Yeah.
So if you feel like you're at that place in your journey where, okay, now I need to get into crystals, pick up a book. Like, Facebook has amazing groups for literally everything. Just put in the search box what you want, whether it's crystals group, whether it's astrology, whether it's human design, join those groups.
Yeah.
Get the books and get actual information, especially because we're living in an age where there are a lot of spiritualists
Yeah.
who want to make money off of you.
Talk about it and the cult culture that's happening in Kenya. And basically, like, it's been around even in Africa, but like recently in Kenya, like people who are misled by somebody and that person has their own agenda, bottom line, but you're not seeing that. Like, that's why I was saying, like, everybody is sipping their own kind of Kool-Aid, and what, like you said, do the research.
Yes.
You need to do the research. You can't just dive into whatever people are getting into at the moment.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it starts as, because I really at a place in my journey where I really want to make or kind of like teach spirituality in an unclassist way, right? In a way that people can just get this information. So it's just like you don't have to pay hundreds of dollars to know what your chart is. Like you can get that online.
Yeah.
But there's someone who'll tell you no. There's nothing special that
There's even apps to figure out your
there's
charts,
apps,
and you just download them
exactly.
for free.
Exactly. So just move from a place of knowledge
Yeah,
first, because a lot of people are taking advantage of vulnerability.
totally.
Yes. And just because you're at a low place doesn't mean now the crystals will work. No, it's not a quick fix.
Yeah.
So I am very much into astrology. I do tarot, but very sporadically. Like
Okay.
when I really feel like I need to do it for myself, then I do. I do tarot at events as well if I'm invited, but only if I'm invited, only if you ask me. I will never come
I'm
to
gonna ask you, girl. I'm gonna ask you to come to whatever event or party I am throwing. Okay.
Yes. I'll never come to you and tell you, oh, let me do a reading for you.
Yeah.
Unless like we're really, really intimate and close like that.
Oh,
And
okay,
it's like,
okay.
Can
Yeah.
I do a reading for you? But
Yeah.
you'll never hear me asking you, oh, let me do your chart. No.
Yeah. Can I ask out of curiosity, if we want to be candid here, how much do you charge for a tarot card reading?
It depends on the questions. So
Okay.
I have like a spread of one question, 2, 3, whatever it is you want clarified to you, and all that is 11, 11. So 1, 11, 11, 2, 22, 22, like that in increments,
Okay.
right?
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a interesting way to put it down, because now like people have to be specific even with the amount of questions they ask,
Absolutely.
and so that you know the billing and the time length of everything.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Have you come across any challenges as an astrologer? Like,
Yes. People calling you a witch, people
oh my
people
goodness.
assuming you read palms. Like astrology is not reading palms.
Yeah.
Astrology is based on years and years of people reading patterns in the sky and relating them to the events here.
Yeah.
Right? So the same way the moon affects the tides, right? The sun affects the growth of plants. The planets affect us, right? Because we exist here alongside the plants. If they grow, we're growing, right? The sun affects us. That's why we have to apply sunscreen
On
when
our
we're-
faces, on our bodies.
right.
Yeah.
So it's not really far-fetched to think that events happening in the sky are not affecting us
Us.
here.
Exactly.
And so that's what it is. It's just years and years of pattern recognition. And I kid you not, the billionaires use astrology.
Oh, I know they
Big
do.
companies
I
use
know, yeah.
astrology. And the thing is, they gatekeep this information and they spread it as, oh, this is myth, this is misinformation. Because trust me, if your stakes are not equal, then that's how inequality continues.
Absolutely. I know that there's even musicians, artists who will be like, I can't release my album when it's a retrograde. I need to release my album when my moon is rising there, or my sun is, or I'm in this house. Like they literally, I know that the wealthy of the wealthy, the 1%er, are totally using that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a way, for me, it's a way to even the skills.
Yeah.
If I can find a way to really know myself and read my environments to a way that's advantageous to me, then that kind of puts me in a better position, right?
Totally. What I wanted to just also find out, like, obviously you've gotten people say untasteful things about you, but like, how does your family feel about the path you've decided to take?
Yes. So my family is super supportive.
Awesome.
And I feel like that's why I always have an air of security, because I really don't care. Like, my mom knows her whole chart. She knows her human design. My grandma knows her chart. Like, you're not telling me anything, because I have the support in the community I need. And I'm very secure within myself. I've not always been secure, but now it doesn't faze me, because at the end of the day, I know who I am. And it's very, very difficult to rock me to my core, because I'm a very secure person, and that's because I'm loved and I'm supported. by the people closest to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess what star sign you are based on what you've said. Are you an Aquarius?
No,
Okay. All right. All right.
I only have one Aquarius placement, and it's
Okay.
a Uranus.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Okay.
I have other options in mind. I guess we're gonna continue with the questions, and I'm
Okay.
gonna figure out more.
Okay.
Um. So obviously we talked about even the cult culture and like believing what you believe in. So what kind of message or takeaway would you want people to know about what you study and like the truth that you stand with it? Like what do you want Kenyans to know and understand when it comes to astrology, and to let's do some unlearning about what we currently know about it, and we learn what's what's actually like advantageous for our careers or our lives when
Yeah.
we're on this planet Earth.
Yeah. Something I would like to tell anyone who's receptive, because first of all, you have to be receptive. This is not, I don't believe in the thing where you have to believe in astrology. No, we can sit in a room and you really don't have to believe in astrology, and that's fine. And I respect that, because I respect that everyone has their path. And I feel like any spiritualist should move like that. But also, it's for those who are receptive, it's very, very important to learn your chart. We're moving to an age where there's this transit that's happening where Pluto has moved to Aquarius. And Aquarius is very much about standing out, not fitting in.
Yeah.
And because Pluto had been in Capricorn for 14 years when the recession started, we were very much a generation about capitalism and individualistic mindsets. But now that Pluto is moving into Aquarius, we're moving into more communal building, more queerness, more how can you stand out? How can you create community for yourself? And that starts with knowing yourself, right? And I feel like astrology is a great tool for self-awareness. Like, study the book, right? I always tell people, when you went to class 1 and you were taught 1 + 1 is 2, you didn't ask why, who came up with this. You found that later. You find that out later.
Yeah.
So if you're really open-minded, right, you can just sit with a book and say, okay, let me give this a try. Yeah. Let me see what the sun means. Let me see what the moon means. Yeah. And forget about sun sign astrology. Forget about Geminis are two-faced. Scorpios are Sidri what? Evil. Forget about that. That's not real astrology. Okay?
Yeah.
That's very propaganda, right? And I want you to go deeper into knowing yourself. And these are tools you can really use, right? Yeah. If you need any help with any books, I'm here, like, to provide any links you might need, because we need to start moving from a place of self-awareness and not from a place of dogma,
Yeah.
right? There are a lot of things we need to do differently, especially as our generation.
Yeah.
And I feel like that starts with self-awareness. And trust me, you're going to see how astrology expands in the coming times.
I completely hear you, and everything that you're saying is resonating, because I'm in therapy. I've gone back to therapy, and I love the fact that even my therapist is like, you're pretty self-aware. And I'm like, it's also because I've used astrology as a tool for myself, and I've done it for a few years. Honestly, maybe I would say even when I was in high school, and I was like so into like my birthday and understanding the sign, why, what. I was almost so close to giving it away so that you can know my star sign, but I'm gonna wait for you to guess.
I'm gonna guess.
I think I've just been mindful, because I've also been somebody who's trying to look for meaning and trying to figure out, who am I? What purpose am I giving out? But then also I'm applying astrology. I'm also praying to God. I have a very close, intimate relationship with God. I'm also educating myself from my mental health standpoint and having conversations with my therapist about why I do the things that I do and why I operate the way that I do. And I also feel like it's a beautiful tool, because if people are not self-aware, that means they are not even interested to do the work on themselves. And that's why, like, when you're dating out here, I'm sorry to bring it up, but this is where everybody thinking about it. But when you're even dating, like, and you've not worked on yourself and you've not brought specific healing or even been working on forgiveness, like forgiveness about rejection or abandonment or injustice or whatever kind of thing that's kind of left you scarred, you need to also know, like, who am I? What kind of person am I? And then also, why does this affect me? Why does this trigger me? Why does this hurt me? Why do I feel, bothered by this person in the office? Why do I feel bothered by the person that I'm dating? Why don't I feel like I have a connection? Why are we not compatible when we're dating? Things like that. I think it's so important for people to be self-aware. That means that you're interested to work on whatever you're dealing with and not trying to put it under the carpet and ignore what you're feeling, but you're actually tackling like what you're going through at the moment. And I think that's so powerful. That's such an incredible takeaway. And for me I feel like you're so intelligent because I picked that off from you, and now I'm over here talking about working on yourself. I'm like, wow, like this is so interesting. And what are your thoughts on healers? Like, would you put yourself in that category or?
I really am very averse to calling myself a thing.
Okay.
Right? I call myself an astrologist because I study astrology. I study the books. And it's very much easier to tell someone, okay, I study this. And so if I'm required to provide evidence, then I have these books, because also my background is in engineering. I'm a civil engineer first, software engineer, and then all this, like my right brain and my oh my God. But my right brain is very, very much alive. And so when I get into my creativity, I also like to have a deep meaning of why am I doing this? Am I just following the trend? And I don't like to call myself a healer. Right? I don't like to call myself a healer because I really do believe that, like, we all impact each other in some way, regardless. And that's why I'm saying, if someone comes here and they sit and they don't know anything about astrology or believe in astrology, there's still something I can take away from that person.
Yeah.
And in that way, they're healing me as well, aren't they? I am not a know of everything, or these are just skills that I've learned over time, that anyone can learn over time. Like, anyone can do tarot, anybody, and everyone has psychic abilities. You just have to develop them. It's a skill. Everyone has emotions, but you just have to develop your emotional skill set, right? And that's what I like to think about it. It's like, okay, I've learned astrology for 7 years, right? There are people who've learned it for 50, but there's still something I can teach this person who's learned astrology for 50 years, because through our circumstances and our experiences, we are all healers.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying like the bad, like the bad people, the people who make terrible choices, help us as well. But I am saying that I don't like to categorize myself as one thing as well, because I'm so many things at the same time. But if my knowledge can help you in a way, then good, right? Yeah, so it's just that simple.
It's that simple, guys. I want to leave us with a little bit of a break coming up, because it is approximately 11:10 right now. It would have been cooler if the minute had changed and it was 11:11, but it's 11:10, guys.
My phone is at 11%.
Oh my, it would have, okay, I feel like I need to give it a couple of seconds and then I can announce the time once again.
I kid you not.
But I'm just hoping, give it a few seconds, guys, and we're just gonna diddle daddle here. In the meantime, maybe my girl over here can name what sign I am.
Gemini?
No.
Aquarius?
Yes.
Ah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Now I feel like, okay, it's approximately 11:11. Her phone is at 11%,
Aquarius
guys.
is the 11th sign of the zodiac as well.
And here we are with the Aquarius 11th zodiac sign. This is just beautiful alignment.
Yeah.
Guys, let's dive into some music real quick, and then your girl Mo and Wandia is gonna be around. We'll be back shortly, guys. Stay tuned.
When I get sober, I'll get my act together. I will put my life in order. No longer be a victim of the devil on my shoulder. Lord knows I've been lost for way too long. I'm getting older. Now move down now, yo, myself. Call my mama and tell her that I'm sorry for the lies and pain I've caused her. And tell her that I never meant to turn out like my father. Lord knows that she cried too many tears for all my drama. Now bound is a mate, I call my daughter, listen to the stories of a guy that she called father. Hope I get the courage to say sorry to her mother. Lord knows that she tried to make it work. I pray the karma will be easy on me. When I get sober, I look for all my friends. I make amends, I drink more water. Find somebody new to love again. Feels like it's over, but Lord knows that I need another chance to start all over. Na mi sili sirudi kamwe. I'll get my act together. I will put my life in order. No longer be a victim of the devil on my shoulder. Lord knows I've been lost for way too long. I'm getting older. Now move down now, yo, myself.
Don't even know, don't even know, don't even know. Circling down, don't even know. Looking for someone to get me out the door. You got me dumbfound. Need a bit more than telling me how we gon' be affected. Oh, there's something about the way you make me feel. Something about the way you made me kneel. Something about the way that we could be messing us up. Nearly got me waiting outside. You got me going. I don't even know your last name, but you got me like. See, I don't even know your last name, but you got me like. You better go sign the waiver, 'cause I'ma violate you and then more. Telling me how we gon' bang bang and get the ring more. Doing less talking. So many try to get inside my feels, but nobody got it, but better sign that deal. Nearly got me sticking around. Maybe there's something about you, about something about the way you make me feel. Something about the way you made me kneel. Something about the way that we could be messing us up. Nearly got me waiting outside. You got me going.
my flow, we on a wave. Kamixa dem makufu vile na bounce kwa hit track. Ukipenda hala chuchu, jiwe, mayoyo. Hey, we got the nunu, I'm in love with my city. Boss, I'm going kuku, hey. Hini ya madem wale ukulenga mtaani. Mkikutana Nairobi wana wave kwa mbali. Luku ni ya wadhi, utadhani Tamford. Saya kinenge, shika mavanga Sanford. Hey, niko idha mapararira kanganya. Big up my hustlers, wanaotamak. My foreigners, wale, makwa wamehama. Machoko shwale jiji, kwa pia ni mama. I'm keeping it real, keeping it local. I'm so raw, original flow though. And Nairobi, ay. It's magic when I'm on the mic, mzee ay.
Ain't no city like my city, oh no. Nairobi, they can do it like we do it in the 254. Nairobi, my hustler, my damn super. Now I'm ready to puru. I love my city, oh yes I do. Nairobi, my body, kileleshwa, Embakase, Langata, Dagorete, Kibera, Nakayole, Dandora, Nairobi, tukorada, kauna bifa hopni abama, bama hituni na tuleta pamoja, chama, tupate mitatu na zama. Ain't no city like my city, oh no. Nairobi, they can do it like we do it in the 254. Nairobi, my hustler, my damn super. Now I'm ready to puru. I love my city, oh yes I do. Nairobi, my hustler, my damn super. Now I'm ready to puru. I love my city, oh yes I do.
Nairobi, tumelock it kibobo. Kadunga mosquito, sio shocky things bobo. Hey, lock it kibobo. No shocky things bobo.
Money one, dirty, nothing one. Not a fool to wanna leave you. All the rumors, yet they've been true. No one knows what I've been through. Doing fine on my own. Cousin said he liked to see through my dress. Touchy, yeah, that shit true. Too many scars in my head got me standing the dead. Sometimes I come out aggressive, cause I don't know what the message is. The kind of hate that I'm feeling, I'll be on my way the first thing in the morning. You find that I left a message, don't complicate it, I meant it. The kind of hate that I'm feeling, oh, I think I'm falling down, going right down to the ground. I've been surfing, circling around, but I've been running around, and I'm falling down. I'm going right down to the ground. I've been riding, surfing around, but I've been running around, and I'm falling down. And I'm falling down. And then you warned me about all this, that it's my fault what I'm feeling. Sometimes I don't understand how deep you got in my head. So when I think that you're about to go, you come and rerun this very show, and then you yelling and telling and begging me, lying and everything wrong. But while you think I'm falling, begging you to forfeit, I'll be on the table working hard until I own it. Find me in the morning when my show is rolling. Call it what you want, but I can't take it no more. I think I'm falling down, going right down to the ground. I've been surfing, circling around, but I've been running around, and I'm falling down. I'm going right down to the ground. I've been riding, surfing around, but I've been running around, and I'm falling down. And I'm falling down. Money one, that's not one.
Miss a na 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 na. Oh Lord.
I Logos Music.
Edith Kimani didn't know one day she would grow to be a known worldwide presenter. Victoria Kimani didn't know that she would kill the show, run Lagos before Nairobi felt out. Take a look at Lupita Nyong'o, a better life right now is full of pretenders. Fena gitu now you know, it's phenomenal. Toka mbali na nimbali ninaenda. Now you can bet your money on me, baby I'm the real deal, and they can never slow me down. I'm a big deal. Mama told me, sit down, be humble, keep it classy, keep it real. She doing her thing though.
She's a real go-getter. Anything you do, she do it better.
She doing her thing though.
And anything she wants, she will get it. Unapologetic.
She doing her thing though.
Unstoppable. A phenomenal.
She doing her thing though. She a queen though. I wanna meet Buddha, so I can shake her hand, tell her she a queen. She made something of herself. Now I can catch feelings. She account shillings, top billing. While she in a private jet, get down on your knees and praise. And then do your best. They don't know your tears. What you say? Speak now or forever hold your breath. Now you can bet your money on me, baby I'm the real deal, and they can never slow me down. I'm a big deal. Mama told me, sit down, be humble, keep it classy like Victoria. She doing her thing though.
She's a real go-getter. Anything you do, she do it better.
She doing her thing though.
And anything she wants, she will get it. Unapologetic.
She doing her thing though.
Unstoppable. A phenomenal.
She doing her thing though. She a queen though. She a queen though. I wanna big up all the queens in the building. All the queens doing their thing. I see you, baby. Get on the floor one time. Now, picky maua. Picky maua. Picky maua. Picky maua. Now you can bet your money on me, baby I'm the real deal, and they can never slow me down. I'm a big deal. Mama told me, sit down, be humble, keep it classy, keep it real. She doing her thing though.
She's a real go-getter. Anything you do, she do it better.
She doing her thing though.
And anything she wants, she will get it. Unapologetic.
She doing her thing though.
Unstoppable. A phenomenal.
She doing her thing though. She a queen though. She a queen though.
I Logos Music.
And we are back, guys. I'm so glad that you guys are tuning in. I hear there's people from Sweden that be tuning in, from Chile that be tuning in, and people in Nairobi that be tuning in. This is amazing, honestly. I'm so happy that Wandia is here with us still. I know that we have to dive into the portion of the Secrets After Dark, but before that, I got me some questions. By the way, guys, I discovered that I asked her off air what her sign is, and she's a Virgo, like Beyonce, because she got that Beyonce on her profile bio. Okay, so that's amazing. Obviously, I feel like we should have carved out a portion to talk about Beyonce because now she's on the Renaissance tour, and I've been obsessed. I can't wait for like whatever HBO special she's gonna make us pay for or make us subscribe to or whatever. Me, I'm there. Me, I'm gonna pay whatever they ask for my credit card details. I'm gonna put them in. I'm gonna put them in. Here you go. Take this equity card. You know, take it, Beyonce. But I wanted to talk about. We were talking a little bit off air about like when it comes to dating and being compatible with the person that you're dating. Me, I've always had this thing about like people going on like Tinder, Hinge, all these dating apps, and then as human beings, we crave that connection, and I feel like there's a disconnect whenever you're going on those apps and talking to people because okay, maybe your intentions are just like we want to hook up, we want to fuck, and that's okay, and that's allowed because you're an adult.
Yeah.
And I hope that you communicate that for further guys and ladies. But then when it comes to the point of like building a connection with somebody and understanding how compatible they are, like I feel like your work can translate even into like marriage counseling or relationship counseling, or like even you can set people up. You can basically be like I don't know the word I used, it disappeared in my mind. Like you can be setting people up on dates and actually pairing them. I feel like Netflix matchmaker. Yes, you should. You know how they have on Netflix the Indian matchmaker? They should have the Kenyan matchmaker, and you should be the host of it so that you can match people together based on this. And I just want to understand from you, like, would you feel like that is highly applicable when it comes to astrology and finding out how compatible people are, whether there's quizzes and tests that you recommend that we should take, and you know, what are your thoughts on that?
Yes, actually there is that's called synastry, right? And it's when you have, for example, let me use us as an example.
All right.
I have your chart and I have my chart. So the apps you can go to and we input both of our charts, right? And so it produces two joint charts. And so in astrology they're very specific. Like it's like a science almost, or like mathematics, arithmetic. So there's a system of how to read the things. And so I can read maybe how my perception of myself is affecting your perception of yourself, things like that, how it's affecting your career, how it can affect your business partnerships, all that. So all that is under synastry. The key is finding someone who can decode the chart for you, right? And so the problem is usually you have to pay for those kinds of like information. So I don't know anywhere you can find like a synastry chart decoded for you for free. Yeah, you have to be able to read it and know what the wheel means and know what, for example, the first house means, what the planets in the first house mean, things like that. And so there is that branch of astrology, but also it requires the knowledge.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's where you'd come in,
Yes.
honestly.
Yes.
I feel like if there's a link or a quiz or something that we can do, especially like if you're dating somebody or if you're in the process of like getting married or really being committed, because I've been in a situation where I was a maid of honor to a friend of mine, and the pastor was even asking them questions like, how compatible are you guys? Like, what do you know about each other? And I feel like low key, he didn't mention about astrology, but I feel like he was tapping on it in a way that was quite subtle, because you need to understand each other and how you communicate and how you give love and how you receive love and how you you are either able to work out conflict with each other, and when this person is temperamental, this person is passive aggressive, this person is like this.
Yes.
So you have to kind of figure that out. I feel like people can also come to you when it comes to, if there's a quiz maybe you'd recommend. I would love to find out more, and I know you're going to come back here on the show eventually. But like, if there's a quiz that people can do that are dating, and you can share with your partner and say like, okay, how compatible are we? Or even if you have the link and you want to send it to somebody that you're talking on Tinder or Hinge or wherever, then you can definitely have that, quiz if that person is into it. And then you're kind of also like, reducing the time you have with each other, because you're learning that straight off the bat. Maybe you guys are not compatible. Maybe there's nothing there. But maybe you're both attractive and you just want to hook up. And you can just work on that alone of just like, inviting the sexual, invitation to go through. I feel like you should have, this is me and my Aquarius self. I'm very much in the clouds sometimes, but I feel like when I sit with people on the show, I want them to know that their gift is a huge blessing. And I see like people reaching out to you, couples reaching out to you, single people reaching out to you, divorced people who have been wounded and hurt reaching out to you. And I feel like your gift is a huge blessing and a healing for people who are going through ups and downs. And I just wanted to let you know that. I don't have any specific question behind that. I just wanted to express that for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. And touching on the resources, there's this app called Time Passages, like a passage of time. And it's really amazing, first of all, because it's affordable. You can input your own chart for free. But also, if you want to see your compatibility with someone, you can pay, I think it's 200 bob.
Okay.
Yeah. And they generate a chart for you, and they tell you, for example, they'll tell you maybe your sun is in Wandia's 4th house, and they'll give you the explanation for that. So Time Passages.
I'm downloading that right now as we speak.
Yeah, leave the coasters alone. Leave the coasters alone. Time Passages right now. Yeah.
Right now.
Right now.
That's awesome. And to be clear, even for the listeners, when you're giving your chart, it is your birthday and also the time you were born?
Yes, the time you were born. The time you were born is to calculate your houses. Then there is the place of birth, the date of birth, and of course the year of birth. Yes, but please find out the time. That's very important to place your houses.
Definitely.
Yeah, and your houses is like kind of like touch on the themes of life. So now when you want to get into career, relationships, yourself, your finances, those are the houses, and that's why you need your exact time of birth, or try to narrow it down at least.
All right. Awesome. Yes. So it's always going to be a fun, interesting way to dive into conversations when you're dating on text or WhatsApp and be like, so like, what are you into? And when were you born? And what time were you born? You can just share that with me, and then we can do this quiz really quickly and see if we're really compatible. But that's going to be an interesting one, honestly. Yes. I think we can definitely dive into secrets after dark, but I don't even have a secret that is like on the top of my head, and it is approximately 11:35, guys. I'm just gonna wing it over here because I'm the host of the show, so I'm usually going first with these secrets. So if I had a secret, I would tell you that how am I gonna expose myself? I've had a sibling of mine. I've had my sister actually walk in on me having sex. Ooh. I'm not going to be too specific with like the location because people going to connect the dots. Yeah. But like for me, if that's something that's just like on the top of my head, but I'm not going to give in too much detail. But she's my older sister, and she was just like amazed. She's like, oh my God, you were writing. And then like I saw your ecstasy face. It was so crazy. And she actually told the rest of my siblings, and I was just like, great, that's amazing. And they were all just like cracking jokes. I was like, the talk of the family WhatsApp group, in the sense of like them individually like telling me like, girl, how could you let that happen? But it was really funny, and I love the fact that even my siblings are just really easygoing. They just found humor in it, and they were like, okay, get yours girl.
Wow. that's a bit traumatizing.
Like, honestly, how crazy would it be if you found your sibling hooking up?
That's very
Like you busted
traumatizing.
in on like your brother or your sister.
Yeah.
The worst is the one when it's for your parents. That one you'll have to pay. That I'm
Okay,
scared
That never
forever.
You've
No,
experienced that?
no. Oh my
okay.
goodness. Oh my word. I would. I don't know.
Because I do have a secret, but it's not mine to share because it didn't happen to me. I was just in the room
You
when
can
it
be
was
vague. You can be a little
happening,
vague about it.
but it was kind of similar of a walk-in with someone nude, right?
Okay.
Yeah, by a sibling as well. So that's all I can see.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
There we go with that secret.
I'm sorry.
But it's all good. It's
Yeah.
all good. But you've not mentioned names,
Yes.
and that was very vague, which is okay.
Yes.
It's a vague secret, but it's a good one. Oh my gosh, Vandia, thank you
Anytime.
so much for coming on down
Yeah.
to Radio 254 for the After Dark show with me, your girl Mo. This has been amazing. I hope the next time you can come by, maybe we can do some tarot card reading.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. I would really love that. And I feel like I've fed off your energy the whole show.
Mm-hmm.
We were even just like saying, okay, we got to be at work tomorrow, so we got to end the show a little early. But here we are. We're a smidge, into almost midnight. It's like 22 midnight.
Yeah.
But do you have any last words for the listeners, for the people tuning in Kenya and in the Sweden listeners and the Chile
Sweden and
listeners?
Chile
I mean, really.
and the Swahilis.
And
So thank you so much for tuning in, and just always remember to be your authentic self and follow your intuition always. It'll lead you to the right places all the time.
where can we find you on
You
Instagram?
can find me on at Wandiology. And I also have an astrology podcast. Please tune in. I give lots and lots of actual valuable information. It's the Wandiology podcast on YouTube, on Spotify. Okay? Yeah.
This has been amazing. Thank you again for Kai.
you.
This has been the best. I've enjoyed this show thoroughly.
And you sound so lovely.
Oh my gosh, voice.
Ah,
I'll listen to all the episodes that she's posted. But thank you again. This has been a huge pleasure. This is your girl Mo signing out, guys. I hope you have an amazing week ahead, an amazing Gemini season ahead, guys. In a couple of hours, I want to say a couple because AM Club, my girl Sonia is going to be out here talking about something really important. I know you're going to learn some things, y'all. Okay, mwah.
Put it on you, so the world I put it on you. So now the blame is on you. Put it on you, so the world I put it on you. So now the blame is on you, 'cause I wanna be hard to get. When the one you thought you loved it until you get to understand that whenever I'm talking about the blame is on you, 'cause I wanna put it on you. Put it on you, tell the world I put it on you. Seven out the blame is on you, 'cause I wanna put it you admitting to falling out of love. You're avoiding guilt. It's not worth it. I regret it. It was me, you know. I wasn't in love. I just loved being loved. And you gave me hope. I hoped I'd fall for you. God, I tried. But I couldn't. So I put the blame on you. For mistakes a kiss could easily fix, and like a fool I figured it would make me happy. Put it on you. Tell the world to put it on you. Tell I know the pain is on you. 'Cause I wanna put it on you. Put it on you. Tell the world to put it on you. Tell I know the pain is on you. 'Cause I wanna put it on you. Put it on you.
Now that you're gone away, my heart will always stay. So young and free like we were and we'll always be. Hata wengine wakisema watasema, kwa sababu niko sawa, niko njema. Who's your blessed, no man can test. I let it go, sawa sawa, sawa sawa, sawa sawa. Just let it go, sawa sawa, sawa sawa, sawa sawa. I let it go, sawa sawa, sawa sawa, sawa sawa. Just let it go, sawa sawa, sawa sawa, sawa sawa.
Mambo freshi, staki kesi, kata keki, haraka upesi, sina ubaya, misi teti, kani guoku, kona jeshi, paper chasing, money making, kali taking, overtaking, kani racing, tuko fao, nipe malkia, staki ya shao. Bruce Melody, that'll be my brother, but I show you how we flip it, kabado uja discover, tunaleta ka ibada, inya wale bakorada, tusiponge jo baraka, ni mona mkono wa baba, I'm on a roll, nimechill kama kokbari, this is when nimekuwa nikiflow saidi, niko sawa sawa, si wana gawa omundu strong, rungu pia ni ya bawa. So here we go, Jimmy Joe, uko shwari, mambo shwari. So here we go, Jimmy Joe, from Nairobi to Kigali. So here we go, Jimmy Joe, say 1, 2, 3.
Hata wengine wakisema watasema, kwa sababu niko sawa, niko njema. Who's your blessed, no man can test. I let it go, sawa sawa, sawa sawa, sawa sawa. Just let it go, sawa sawa, sawa sawa, sawa sawa. I let it go, sawa sawa, sawa sawa, sawa sawa. Just let it go, sawa sawa, sawa sawa, sawa sawa. The feeling is so magical. She got me mixed up like chemicals. The feeling is so magical. She got me mixed up like chemicals.
Boy, you changed my life, oh. I swear one God, oh. Wachana na wapenzi wa kitambo midogo.
Girl, you changed my life, oh. I swear one God, oh. Wachana na warembo wa kitambo. I can't even compare to kidogo.
You make my days bright, brighter than the sun, yeah, yeah. Unafanya ningare, ningare, ningare.
Give me goosebumps to the foot. Just be my cause
Baby, I'll love you. Defender. Baby, I'll nakupenda. Like yeah.
say my name and I will be there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
To be like just the way you are.
I wanna hold you, just to hold you out. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
My love, make me fall in love like Peru Pepe. I wanna lose you again, my Peru Pepe. But touch with you, Peru Pepe.
I hope you forget me. Sikumbuke anything that I was about. And if it gets tempting, utake kuni text, please. I hope your ego acts out. I hope you will hate me, angalau. Na kama huwezi, tell your friends it's allowed. No need to defend me, nishakuwa ex, please. Let your inner voice speak out. You need to let up and breathe. Stop holding it in. All that pain is hurting you. I know how you are. You hurt inside and pretend that everything is cool. If it ends in tears, it was beautiful. I'm sorry it hurts, I'll miss you too. Moyo ni jiko, mapenzi ni makaa. Ulikuwa moto, na mimi mataa. Onaye ndo mwaki, wito onaye ndo mwaki. Moyo ni jiko, mapenzi ni makaa. Ulikuwa moto na mimi mafuta taa. All the memories umekusanya, the ones in your head zinazokudanganya ati umechoma bet. Trust me, the best is yet to come. Si uongo, vyote vizuri huisha. I know you know, your heart was never mine. Ulikuwa umenilon wangu, trust me, you are not alone. But I am a lost case, so let's focus on you. You need to let up and breathe. Stop holding it in. All that pain is hurting you. I know how you are. You hurt inside and pretend that everything is cool. Unaye wendo mwaki, wito unaye wendo mwaki. Moyo ni jiko, mapenzi ni makaa. Ulikuwa moto na mimi mafuta taa. Unaye wendo mwaki, wito unaye wendo mwaki. Moyo ni jiko, mapenzi ni makaa. Ulikuwa moto na mimi mafuta taa. Hope you forget me, utanisahau. Sikumbuke anything that I was about. And if it gets tempting, utake kuni text, please don't